Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so excited to be hosting this roundtable today because as a social media manager, I think it is absolutely embarrassing to how little I know of TikTok because I tend to stay away from that platform. As someone who has ADHD, I feel like I would spend my entire life there as you continuously scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. But I thought it would be very fun. And as well, I thought, and it was Tattooed Simmer who also thought this would be a very fun podcast to do. So I have some of the best TikTokers simmers here to kind of share wisdom and knowledge. So guys, thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, of course. You are very, very welcome. Well, that's okay. Why don't we start us off with a quick round of introductions? Cookie, you go first.
Hi, I'm Elena. Coki.Creative is my name on Instagram, TikTok, and my account's named after my dog. I don't know what else to say.
I love that though.
Cool.
I love that. I love Cookie. Anytime Cookie's on the beach, it gives me life. I know that one day I could be a dog on the beach.
Oh yeah,
that's my goals.
Living her best life, honestly.
I love it. Gerald, how about you?
Jannard, I go by Nardvillain on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and then Nard Sims on Instagram. And I've been producing content for The Sims 4 since 2020, I believe. Yeah, 2020.
Congrats on almost 2 years.
Yeah. Thank you.
You are very welcome. I'm also excited for everyone to listen to our podcast. Okay, like you don't have no idea. I think about it all the time that me and you need to go into radio together.
Yeah, we should.
I know we should.
Did
I
you
don't
trim it up, or do you think your audience is ready for like that 5-hour long interview we did?
I did
not.
No,
it wasn't 5 hours.
It was not. It was just slightly under 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Which is not bad. The longest one right now is 2 hours and 58 minutes and change, and that was the Not So Berry podcast. Oh my god,
that opinions must have been said.
I know, right?
We went through every single generation.
Nice.
And the tips and tricks for everything. And I sat there and I had another podcast after it actually bled into the other one. I'm messaging the other person being like, hey man, I'm currently filming a podcast right now. And it's like, I can't, like, you please give me an extra 30 minutes. That podcast, the one after, was 2 hours and 45 minutes. It was the mental health podcast. So in one weekend, that was the same weekend we did this Simstagram.
Yes.
So you guys you guys had held for 2.5 hours for a day, and then 100 Baby Challenge was like, yo, hold my beer. I'm gonna go. After that weekend, that was like 9 hours of podcast filming. I was like, I can't do this
anymore. Don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me, everyone. Anyways, Nardvillain, I'm so excited to have you back here today. HipHipRenee, how about you?
Hi, you can pretend that you can see me. I don't know what's going on there. But hi, I'm HipHipRenee. I started off on YouTube, and during the global panini, I moved over to TikTok, and that's kind of my main thing right now. So yeah, super excited to be here.
I appreciate that you called it a panini.
Yeah, it's a global panorama.
Okay, well, I love it. Well, like I said, I actually have questions, not printed out, because who has a printer in their house?
I have a printer.
Someone's got their life together.
I have a printer, and I use a fax machine almost every day at work. I just want to point that out.
Oh my god! So I aspire to be you when I'm older, because
everyone else does too. So I get it.
Okay, yeah. I'll just get in line. I'll just put that. I'll go Margot Robbie, Jennifer Lawrence, and then HipHipRenee.
Yes, that is the order
on my inspiration wall. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, you even have Sims 5 named after you. I mean, Project Renee.
Oh, that's true.
I do. It's amazing. I love it being named after me. It's so good. I messaged Sim Guru Ninja immediately after, and I was like, thank you.
I'm glad you took inspiration.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. Here's the first question. How come you chose TikTok to start sharing your platform? How come you chose TikTok one of the internet's most love to hate platforms to share your content. And anybody can go first.
Oh boy.
I just wanted China to have my information, you know. That's all I needed, you know, for TikTok, is just for them to take my information. No, I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Honestly, I started on YouTube, so I was just wanted to just have another outlet, and a lot of people were telling me, especially what's his name, V. Everybody know who V is. He was raving about TikTok, so I kind of hopped on the bandwagon a little too late, but I just thought it'd be great for my engagement. So I just started kind of trimming up what I already had produced into little short form clips. And just in like the third video, I got like 500 views, and I thought, oh my God, 500 views. That's like amazing. So I just started pushing it, because I think TikTok at the beginning was kind of like giving me a lot of views to keep me wanting to produce content on it. And then as I started watching other creators on TikTok, the platform just got slightly addicting. So I just started just kind of like producing more content strictly for short form. And then before you know it, it just became consistent for me. And that's pretty much how I got the start, is just, you know, wanting another platform other than YouTube to kind of push out my content.
Yeah. Can I ask, so you took the content on YouTube and you take the shorts, do you still post them everywhere else as well, just to kind of get that spread everywhere? Or do you just have TikTok exclusive content that's not on YouTube or your reels?
Every once in a while, I might do exclusive content for TikTok. Like if I'm using stuff within the app that might not make sense or register right on Instagram, then I'll just keep it exclusively for TikTok. But a lot of times I don't really use a lot of stuff native to TikTok. I like to do everything in post-production. Like I like sometimes to create my own captions and I do everything the hard way, I guess. I should probably start taking advantage of actually utilizing the app features, because I think that's what the app is there for, is to just show that anybody, everybody, even your grandparents can be TikTok people. You know, they can just use their phone, because we have everything for you, green screen and stuff like that. So at the beginning, yeah, that's what I was doing. I was like utilizing the app for its features, and then saving it to my phone, and then using it over to YouTube and stuff like that, in Instagram. But now I don't do it as much as I did in the beginning. So to answer your question, yeah, I did at first, but now I just kind of, if it's going to be on TikTok and I'm using their app features, then it's probably going to be exclusive for TikTok.
Okay. I think that's a good question, because I know a lot of people transfer over. So it's on shorts, TikToks, and reels. And I kind of find like videos that you would make would do better on TikTok than they would ever do on reels, because it's original audio versus song. Anything song will get so much more love on reels, but original audio gets no love when it comes to reels. Well, anyways, thank you for sharing. Cookie, how about you?
Okay. Well, you know, I started with Instagram, and then during the panini, I was seeing that TikTok was going crazy. So I posted like one or two things. One thing I posted did really well on Reddit. Like it got picked up by Gaming Bible. So I was like, all right, I'm going to use that video and then make a TikTok. It did not do well. And then I was like, okay, I'll make one more. It did not do well. I didn't touch it for years. It was just my personal, it was like just Coki.Creative, but I would just follow random people. I was just using it for personal use. But then like this year, since I was making all these reels, I'm like, I'll just post them over to TikTok. Not a big deal. I noticed that a lot of the songs on TikTok were about a minute long, and most of my reels are at least a minute and a half. Well, that's the max time. And so that's when I started doing these voiceovers, since I found that was easier than trying to find a song that matched. And I started doing that just like a couple months ago. And it was just very recently where I started doing like a few more tutorials, because people are always asking me, what's the red shelf? What's that? What are you doing? So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make a video instead of typing out the answer 50 times. And then I got a couple videos that actually started doing well. And then I'm like, all right, maybe I should start focusing on TikTok more. Like the past like 2 months, I've gotten 10,000 plus followers. Like I'm growing so much faster there. Like Instagram, I feel like it's pulling teeth for like making content, getting people engaged. TikTok, some of my videos won't do that well. Some of them will get 1 million. And I'm like, what? I'm not getting this kind of attention on Instagram. So that's why it's like, I almost like accidentally started doing it because it just wasn't my intention. I didn't really see myself as a TikTok person, but now I'm like, I'm focusing more on TikTok than Instagram. It just feels so weird to say.
Hey, I feel like that is weird to say. I feel like a lot of people made the switch because it was it like last October or November
Yes.
when Amazon was like, so when Instagram was like, you know what, we're gonna be fucking TikTok and we're gonna start putting ads.
And they ruined it. I mean,
and it
not
did.
offense to
Yeah.
Instagram, but like when they started doing the Reels feature, and then I started putting all this energy into editing videos, and I also use my computer to edit everything. I might finish them off with the app, but I'm like, well, if I'm making all this content, I might as well be posting it on other platforms since I can't just post photos on Instagram anymore. Well, you could, but
you could, but I mean, God forbid, like you it's like it's literally pulling teeth. Like right now, like my main Stassi page, it's just like I'm banging my fucking head against the wall because you go through these periods of like these ups and downs, like what we talked about in this Instagram podcast is when you're on a high, you're on a fucking high, but when you're on a low, you're on a fucking low.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
I lose followers. Like I will go through a day where I hit a milestone and then it'll go back down because I didn't post for one day. TikTok, I'm like, oh, I cannot post for a couple of days and it's not going to affect any of my engagement, any of the people following me. I'm like, it's so much less stressful of a platform, which I mean, if you would have asked me this 6 months ago, I'd be like, I'm not gonna mess with TikTok. But I've even been doing testing where like A/B testing, I'll post something, the same video on TikTok and Instagram the same day. TikTok will perform so much better. And I'm like, well, okay, well, I've been wasting my time. Well, not wasting, but this is where I should be focusing my energy. TikTok. So very interesting.
That definitely is very interesting. I think it's just because like TikTok is just, I think TikTok is now beating Instagram when it comes to ads.
And when you think about who uses Instagram, you're following your friends, your cousins, the people you know. So you're less likely to follow businesses or Instagram accounts. But on TikTok, you're looking for the content you're just interested in. I mean, I follow one of my cousins, but like I'm mostly following comedians or skit people, other niche interests. So I think TikTok was designed for content creators to be successful. It's really interesting.
But I definitely will say that TikTok will humble you.
Oh, I'm sure.
Every once in a while, you would get that, nice little 500,000 views, or maybe even 1 million views, and then that third post, like 200 views.
I had a video
it'll humble you. Yeah, it'll humble you.
And it's probably the post you're like, this is gonna do so well.
Yep.
You're gonna love this one.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, Cookie, thank you for sharing. Last but certainly not least, HipHipRenee.
Yeah, so my story, I would say, is similar to Nard, where I started off on YouTube, and my YouTube content is very different from my TikTok content. On YouTube, I'm a little bit more serious. It's, I have my brief history videos where I talk about true crime and I talk about historical things, and I just kind of overlay it over The Sims. And I had a lot of ideas that were like really chaotic and like really fun, but just didn't make sense in long form content, but also didn't make sense with the other content that I was putting on my YouTube. So my thoughts were I could start a second YouTube channel, which seems like a lot of effort because YouTube is like, it's so much more time intensive, I think, because it takes me 5 minutes to film a TikTok and then that TikTok could get 1 million views. It takes me 3 days to create and edit and post a YouTube video and it could get 100. So I decided to take all of kind of my short form other ideas over to TikTok. I did have access to the YouTube Shorts at that time and I did post a couple, but I just don't like putting those two things together. I feel like if I'm on YouTube, I want long form content. If I want short form content, I'm going to go to TikTok. That's really kind of what it's made for. So yeah, I just wanted to do something a little bit different to the content that I had been previously making. And again, it was like 2020. So I had quite a lot of time on my hands to be able to do just some extra stuff.
Hey, I like that. I know we talked about that in our summer spotlight last week. It's interesting because I'm a person that I love YouTube. I would say I watch YouTube more than I watch Netflix and Crave and all the other stuff. I love the ability of watching people create their own stuff. I have my favorite YouTubers. I watch their stuff like it's a show. But it's always funny. You get to the end of the video, it's like a 20-minute video, and they're like, guys, thank you so much for staying. You guys are the true MVPs. Like, we're a fan. And I'm like, I'm a person, if I watch a video, I watch it through and through, even if it's a shitty video, because like I clicked on it. Okay. Like I'm gonna watch it, but I know that that's the furthest thing from the truth as most people, that they watch like a minute of it and like, okay, I watched the video, okay, cool, bye. Because you could tell in your YouTube metrics where people stop watching, and it is heartbreaking once in a while. Like when I used to do speed builds, 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
I'm like, damn, they can't even make it through the intro.
Right?
Yeah. My intro's 10 seconds.
So I don't even do intros anymore. I just get right to it. I'm like, all right, they don't even want to hear what my name is or whatever.
They don't care.
As soon as I get up.
Okay. Yep. I'm gonna have my grandma Stassi moment of just being like, I'm a boomer. Yeah. Okay. So obviously I am on TikTok. Okay. I mean, I wanted to grab the name. It was in the summer. I had this epiphany. I would make tri-files, which is YouTube, Reel, and TikTok, and I had them out there, and I transferred over. I didn't really put as much effort in. I would just kind of schedule my content and leave, just because I was very anti, like, I don't want to be on the platform, of just because I would get there. By the time I could get to my DMs or whatever, I would already have seen 2 TikToks. It was just flying so quickly, and I couldn't dedicate myself to fall down that rabbit hole all the time. And it's the same way with Reels. Like right now, like my girlfriend is sending me Reels, and she thinks that's my love language. It's not my love language. I get it. I get a funny Reel once in a while, but I think the problem is I can't understand what the fuck these kids are saying on TikTok. Okay, so like we're gonna do because they're trying to get your attention in the first 5 seconds. Because if you don't have your attention in the first 5 seconds, it's gone. That's literally what they taught me when I had to do the everything you need to know about TikTok from corporate America, and it was awful. What they trained was awful, and what you have to do, because basically it's like, okay guys, okay, so like here's everything, because the thing is they know you're one thumb swipe away from just going to the next video, so they have to grab your attention in the first one, which is causing people to have focus problems, I feel like, because like now you're just like, okay, look, well, I don't like this one, I'm off to the next, and then you realize it's like an hour later and you're just like, oh my god, like it's almost like playing Sims. Yeah. Like I was off all week. I did a lot of Sims playing, kept getting myself caught up, making Rose Chronicles, and I would be making a chat, like I'd be making 2 slides, it'd take me 3 hours. I'd be like, oh my god, that was 3 hours. Shit. So I kind of feel like that's the same way with TikTok, that like YouTube content, long format's gonna die because they don't have the attention span to even watch a minute and a half short or a minute short versus a 20-minute video. And I that kind of makes me really sad that we're going into that way of just like always wanting, because it's basically gambling, right? You're just like, let's keep going, because it's never ending. There's no end to your TikTok. They will find something, and I will say they are significantly better at finding what you're interested in. Like significantly. So for an example, I for work, I wanted to be a dick. And basically something, because I used to work for a sign company, and I don't work for them anymore, so I can now bash them because I did not sign an NDA when I left, because they're idiots. So I for a week I only looked at anti-Trudeau stuff just for fun. I just wanted to see, I would just Google anything. A week later I was getting QAnon stuff, PPC. All it took was me watching 3 videos, and the algorithm went that way. So I think that's really dangerous, and that's how a lot of misinformation is spread. So again, as I am an old lady, that's my stance. But that's not just TikTok, that's everybody. That is
Facebook even.
Oh god, Facebook's the worst.
The worst.
Facebook's the worst.
Thank you.
I literally
it's an echo chamber of your own thoughts, and they're like, then people go, oh, well, everyone thinks the way I think because that's all I'm seeing.
Yes.
Not really.
Well, yeah, because the
Right.
algorithm shows you
Yeah.
what you want to see, which again can
Mhm.
be scary. But
My
I
husband and I do this thing where we watch, like, we'll hold each other's phones and we'll be like, all right, I want to watch your For You page. You watch mine. And he has such different content than I do
Mhm.
because of just the things that we like. And it's really interesting. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I like my For You page, don't get me wrong, but it's nice to see like what else is out there. There's
Yeah.
so much I'm not seeing.
Oh yeah. Stassi's made one. I get hair, princess dresses, and wedding.
Interesting.
I have no Sims. I have nothing Sims related. But on the podcast page, I have Canada rights for some unknown reason.
You're like, you're Canadian. You like this.
I'm Canadian, but it's not like it's like Canadian fact number one. Did you know that it is illegal to chew gum on a Saturday in a small city and
What?
Saskatoon? Yeah, it's weird rules that like because Canada has a lot of weird rules and like really small cities. Like I'm talking like a city that has like 50 people.
Oh,
okay. we are always like you could drive through a town. Like my girlfriend just moved to a small town 2 weekends ago. There's 1,000 people that live there. Like it's very common to be in the fuck nowhere, especially in this province. This province is massive. You could fit Texas 5 times in this province.
Oh my God.
You can't even live in all the province because it's bears in Arctic, the further north you go. Anyways, long story short. And for Rose Chronicles, it's Sims. It's all Sims. Everything Sims. And that's the platform I use the most. The least, to be honest with you. But yeah, Stassi, the one I use the most. No Sims content.
So I have a question because this is something that I've also noticed on your main Stassi page. Do you follow Sims TikTokers?
I don't know if you're a Sims TikToker or not.
So what I've noticed, because on my For You page, I do not get Sims content at all.
Yeah, same.
Because I follow so many Sims talkers and they're in my following page. So they already know that I want to see that stuff. And I already am following probably all of the people that I want to be following at this point. So I don't get it in my For You page because why are they going to show me this new content when I already have it over here? So I think that's more what it is that when you start following a lot of things that are within the same niche, you're not going to get that as much on your For You page because they want you checking out new things and not things that you're already following.
Which is kind of a good thing, but also a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because I would rather see the content that I signed up for. Because when I go to my For You page on TikTok, it's like just random like viral video skits and entertainment. I get a lot of entertainment stuff. And here and there I'll get like, if I sit on something a little too long, like some little eye candy or something. Now all of a sudden I got eye candy in the For You page. And I'm like, so every time I see eye candy, I gotta like kind of swipe, pretty fast. But yeah, so it's kind of weird because I just want to see what's on like the people that I'm following. So I'm like, because I have to literally go and search like HipHipRenee or search Daniel Bill just to see what they're up to, and I wish I can just be able to still see that, even though I know it's there. It's just a different tab, obviously, but I wish that tab was, as soon as you open the app, I wish that tab was the first thing you open up. But TikTok's smart. They're like, we don't want you to just see that first. We want you to see new content. Yeah, that's the purpose of the platform. So
and I feel like it devolves even more from there because you have your For You page, but then you start following people and it goes to your following page, but then those people start following you back and now they're only on your friends page. So like I don't see any of Nard's content unless I go to my friends page. He's not on my following, he's not on my For You page. Because we're friends.
Are you sure I'm not blocked? Just kidding.
It sounds like Nard's blocked, my friend.
I think I'm just blocked.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You can tell us, it's fine.
He is. He totally is. He's the only person on my block list. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, moving on, I have another question. So everybody here kind of has a different style of creating content. I want to know, how do you create content for your audience? And anyone can go first. Go nuts.
I open my phone when I have a weird idea in my brain and I film it and I post it. I do not do any editing. I do not re-record things. I post it. If it does well, it does well. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Took up 3 minutes of my time and I'm done for the day. That's how I do my content. That's how I do all of my content.
Goals. Those are my new goals
like that
right
for
there.
me.
Right? Same.
Okay, so walk me through. Tell me, okay, you have a weird idea right now. What is your weird idea? And from start to finish.
So let's say, I came up with one day, and now this is a series at this point, but I came up with I had seen, her name is Color Me Lovely. I don't know if you guys have seen her stuff, but she does the PR skits where like it'll be like King Charles calling, and it's like topical things. And I was like, that's a good idea. How can I use that idea? And I was like, oh my God, what if I was a Sims 911 operator? Because I had the idea of like a phone and answering a phone. So I was like, Sims 911 operator, what could be happening? Oh, okay, someone is in a pool and someone put a fence around the pool. And I literally set up my phone on my tripod and I started talking to myself. I filmed it one time, I posted it, and it got like hundreds of thousands of views. And now I make it a series. So every once in a while I'll come up with an idea and be like, oh, what if someone was like kicking over a trash can in someone's yard? So they called 911 and they were mad about someone kicking. So I just hope that I word vomit like funny things, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but yeah, I just do it. I don't put any thought behind my TikToks whatsoever. That's why I do TikTok, because I feel like it's just like I can get all the weird things that I think of in my brain.
And that's what I love about your content, because I've seen your content and I'm a huge fan of your YouTube content, and I know how much work you put into
a lot.
your YouTube videos, because I've been following you since I've actually joined the Sims community a couple of years ago, and it's an honor to be obviously just chatting with all three of you, by the way. So but yeah, so when I see your TikToks, I love them too, just because I know like just that you're just having fun, and you're not really putting like a lot of like, not, I ain't gonna say effort, but just like, because I know, like I said, because it's so much different than your YouTube audience, so cool. Kudos.
I enjoy the chaos. That's why I do it, is to be chaotic as possible. So
I love it. Nard, how about you?
It just depends. Like I like to kind of produce mine. I probably should be more like HipHipRenee, because I do the same stuff on YouTube where I actually have to write a script or at least jot down the talking points so I know what I'm talking about, so that way I don't have to, correct the haters in the comments because I didn't do my homework right or whatever. But I just, like, for example, if I want to do one of my segments like the Sims 4 TV news, like I like to do these little news segments on TikTok where I will take some Sims content that's in my game and I'll like create a news segment around it. And so what I would have to do is I would have to write the script, because it's obviously a news script. I can kind of improvise it too, because I'm really good at that. And then I have to, I have like this persona where I wear like my cowboy hat and I have a suit on. I'm in the green screen. I got my box lights. So I literally make it look like a professional news station.
I love those videos, by the way.
I like those.
Yeah. So all that work, it takes like maybe an hour just to like, maybe put the script together, come up with the concept, the production, put the box lights up, record on the green screen, bring it all into the Premiere Pro CC, and then I have to key out the green screen, and then after I do all that, I piece together the segment. Now I got to go into the Sims 4 and then record the gameplay. Got to make the Sims do what you want them to do, so your script can actually make sense, because they have their mind of their own too. Which I have another segment for that. But so yeah, and then after that, that's another hour, maybe hour and a half. And so with all that, that's almost 3-4 hours of just something that could have easily been like 30 minutes or less if I used the in-app features on TikTok. But instead, I'd rather go that whole hard route and produce it, write it, do the production a little bit better, because I want to be able to use this throughout, YouTube and Instagram as well. And I just want to keep the quality the same. Like if I'm already doing it that way on TikTok, I want people to know like every time I do that segment, it's going to be the same. So yeah, about 5 hours of production, or overall five hours of work, and then maybe 2,000 views.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it always works. And then I do something on my phone, maybe 100,000 views.
Yep.
Easy peasy.
Always.
Well, Nard, thank you for sharing. Cookie, how about you?
So depending on what I'm making, if it's I've been starting to do my speed builds a little different than I would do on Instagram. I've speeded up 2 times, just twice, but I take like about 2-second increments and then I piece them all together, and then the build is like slowly building. But doing that, like clipping all those things for a build, I'm already recording anyway for YouTube, which my YouTube is not impressive. I post like, I want to do once a week, but I just don't. But I'm already filming for other reasons. I'm not just filming for TikTok. I'm doing reels also with this. So when I think of the time I spent, I'm like, well, this is cross-platform, so at least this is for multiple things. But from start to finish with those, because I also do a voiceover when I'm done, takes at least like 2-3 hours, which I'm trying to get faster, but just trying to pick out the important things I want people to see, like tricks, like I'm using tool mod in a really unique way. So I want to include that in the video. And you'd think it would be fast, just like, oh, pull out these things. But I'm like, I need to pull out the most important parts that are going to capture people's attention. And then when I do the voiceovers, I do them in little clips at a time because like right now, I just like couldn't think of what to say. So with TikTok, like you said, you need to talk at them. So I talk as fast as I can almost, and I just clip it all together. And then that will be about 1.5 minutes. I have everything at 1.5 minutes, so I can post on Reels and TikTok without any extra editing or anything like that. Since yeah, I just don't want to spend my time simply on one thing. I want to be able to spread it across. The only thing is with shorts, it has to be 1 minute, and that's why I don't post it. It's just not enough. But then I do these tutorials, which I'm kind of new at, and they take me a while, but they're about like 1 hour, 2 hours, because I wouldn't say a script per se, but more bullet points, because if you miss something, people are going to let you know, like, oh, well, I do it this way and it works. I'm like, okay, that's cool, thanks. But yeah, so you just like want to make sure you have all those talking points, or else people will call you out on it. But yeah, so I think that the little bit of pressure there of make sure I say everything right, because people will know if it's not right. So not writing a script, but like keeping tabs of what I'm saying and making sure I hit all the points. So doing all of that does take time. But yeah, I would say roughly 3 hours per video. Not 40 seconds. I need to get
All right.
Yeah, that's why HipHipRenee, that's why I brought you on. We got
Yeah, guys, all you gotta do is just make your content as shitty as possible, and for some reason people will watch it. I don't know why. I don't understand it. Okay. Yeah. When I first started off my TikTok, I did a lot of like, I'm going to put this into Premiere, I'm going to make it look nice, I'm going to do a professional voiceover, I'm going to fix. Then I started filming my screen, and that's when I took off.
I honestly think that it's also because, again, I think TikTok really wants the other users to see how easy it is to just implement what Renee's doing, like the green screen on your phone, the voiceover features on the phone, and all that, just to show. And then when you're scrolling, it doesn't look like an ad. It looks like someone literally, it's a TikTok video. So if you don't know who I am and you see my video, you might just think that it's a legit Sims 4 ad, because sometimes it starts out and it looks a little polished, and it's like, oh wow, is this an ad or is this an actual video?
Trying to find that, like, because people want that unique but almost personal content. It like, oh, it feels like I'm in their world. They're just recording their screen, something funny, instead of something so polished, because we see so much polished content out there, especially for ads and stuff. So trying to be okay with it not being perfect is the hardest thing. Yeah, especially as if
it took me a while to get there. Yeah, I did not understand it because I was posting videos and I was like, these are doing really well on YouTube. Like, I don't understand why this isn't doing well on TikTok. And then I just kind of like let go a little bit, and now I'm way more comfortable. I film my screen. You can see the lines on my screen, and you can see like my rat cages behind me, and I don't put makeup on anymore. Like, I just do it. I just don't, I feel like, and I don't want to say I don't care, because I do care about my content. I care about the content that I make, but less caring about kind of what people are thinking of me. Like, either you're gonna like my content or you're not. It's no skin off my back either way, honestly. And if you don't like it, you're probably gonna comment on it, and that's gonna be better for me anyway.
So, engagement.
And then if people get in a little fight in your comic section,
Oh, I
you're
love
like,
that.
Yeah.
I have one of those happening right now. I've been very interested in keeping track of it.
Ooh. See, that is it's fascinating. And thank you guys so much for sharing. I've had the opposite effect. So I would post like short bits of like the podcast at the beginning. No one would actually would come and listen to the podcast. They would grab their snippet, had the idea what the interview was, and then left. Like it was so weird. Once I stopped, my listeners went right back up. I literally just said no. Like I'm not gonna waste, because like as Narth, like I would take, because I do this in Premiere Pro. I have the Adobe Suite. I would find a specific clip. I would edit it very out. I had the frames to go around. Like making a reel would take me about an hour. TikTok for whatever for all the platforms, and I did it, and I like no one would listen and no one would care, and they would be like, oh, okay, cool, so like this is who she's talking to, blah blah blah. That was it. So I was like, you know what, I put way too much time into this podcast to you take a minute listen and you're like, okay, I don't need to listen to this podcast. In my mind, I thought you would see a snippet of it to see, oh fuck, I really want to listen to this, because I would pick the funniest part of the interview. I would literally, if you go back and watch the first part of the season, you would see me continuously looking at the clock, because that's when I knew when this spot was.
Yeah.
You could continuously keep seeing me doing that, because I had to know, because these podcasts are like hours long. I would literally have to be like, okay, well, like this is the best 30-second clip, and it would always be the so funny, or just like we'd get like laughing, and just to show like it was a good time. No one would. It would just be like, okay, cool, that's who she interviewed, awesome.
Like, oh cool, I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah, right. So, or people would be like, I didn't like listen to your podcast, but I like watched the reel and it was okay. And I'm like, okay, so no, I want you to come listen to this content, because the people I'm interviewing, I want you to listen to them and get to learn their story, not the 10-second clip. And then I did a bunch of like reels that was like funniest game pack, best game pack and stuff, and I put that on TikTok. Did nothing, didn't fucking go anywhere. Reels though, 100,000
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
It's the complete opposite
for me.
Yeah. So I was just like, you know what, fuck this, I don't have time.
You know what I noticed? I mean, this is super random, but room builds, I mean, that performs so well on reels. If I do a room build on TikTok, I get like, I'm lucky to get 5,000 views.
Yeah.
It's weird. And yeah, I'm like, it's the same thing I'm doing, but like some reels like certain videos, and then TikToks like certain videos. I'm still learning.
I feel like it's an entirely different audience, because I have an Instagram. I don't use it. Instagram was like just slightly past my time. I'm 36. So it's like just past the time where I was like into that type of social media, and it just didn't do it for me, and I never got into it since. I open my Instagram once a month to check my DMs, because sometimes people will DM me. Yes, Stassi over there. That's why I didn't answer you, because I don't open my Instagram, but I'm on TikTok every single day. So I think it's the type of people who are watching that content are on different platforms.
And I feel like if you're a builder too, I feel like you already, like, that's why I really appreciate you, Cookie, because I feel like people who can build is just like amazing, because that's one thing I can't do. And so when I'm on Instagram, that's all I see on my For You page is just people building. So I just feel like if I was a builder, I think I could maybe have more leverage on Instagram versus TikTok. And then even when you go on to TikTok, I think people are still looking for builds and how to do stuff. So I think if you continue with your tutorials, I think those will also pop off at some point, because some people are looking for that. And what I've noticed about TikTok is once you start doing something, I know my camera died. I'll switch the battery out. But I noticed when you do something a little more consistent, eventually the algorithm will kind of, or the audience is what I like to call it, will catch on to it in hopes that it'll start getting more reach.
And getting into playlists is a huge one. Tutorials for The Sims do extremely well on TikTok. You just need to be noticed first, because I feel like
Yeah.
while they do well, it's also not something that TikTok super pushes. So you kind of have to have like that built-in audience a little bit that wants to see those tutorials, and then it's going to start getting pushed out, because the TikTok algorithm, as far as I'm concerned, is like the Wild West of social media. It makes zero sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever, but like if you stay consistent with things like that, tutorials do exceptionally well.
That's great, because I'm gonna film one today.
Good.
That's just do very well.
I'm just curious, how many posts do you guys do a week? Do you even have a like schedule for TikTok, or?
I wouldn't say that I have a schedule. I make it a point to post at minimum one a day. That's as long as I can hit one a day, I'm happy. But there are days. Yesterday I posted 4 because I had these videos. So I tend to batch create my content, because again, it doesn't take me very long to make my content. So I'll sit down for like 3 hours and bust out every single TikTok for the week plus some. So I noticed yesterday that my videos were getting, I've been getting really shit views lately. And yesterday my videos were like popping off. So I was like, I have some really good videos in my drafts. I'm posting them now. And they're going to do well, or they're not going to do well. Every single one of them did really well. I just want to throw that out there. I was really impressed with myself. But I did 4 yesterday. But there are days where, you know, during the week, Monday through Thursday, I work a real person job, a hard real person job. So whenever I have a little break, I'll see if I can post something. And if I can, I can. And if I can't, I can't. But usually like weekends, I'll post 2 to 3 a day at minimum.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That would be
awesome.
a great goal.
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying to do like 5 days a week. Because of how long the content takes, but like I do try to give myself a day off right now until I figure out how to make some faster. I would like some fast content in between some of the longer videos, like what you said, just quick, because I do a lot of gameplay in real life. It's some aside I don't show on my Instagram or TikTok. And I would love to show that I'm actually a player also. I don't just build. So how can I make unique content for me? I don't want to copy someone else. I just haven't figured it out.
So one of the things that I tend to do, and this is so I have like my main content, which is like my main series, the roasting your builds, the murder gauntlet, the whatever else, the Sims 911. I have all those, and I try and post at least a couple of those a week. Those are my main, that's my video for everyday situation. But I have so many just like random TikTok audios saved. And every once in a while, I'll just go through my audios and listen to them. And I hear something and I'm like, oh yeah, that would be really funny with the gameplay that I've been doing on my own. So I use that as like my backup content. And that's just something that I can post as my second video or my third video. Or if I don't have anything filmed for that day because I didn't batch film enough, I have something in my drafts at least. So I feel like audios on TikTok do pretty well.
You're giving me so many ideas right now. I know that those exist. When I'm watching my own, I'm like, that was really funny.
I save every audio that I hear that I even remotely like.
So smart. I never think to save them. I never think like, how can I
do that too.
Yeah.
You guys are smart. I'm still like a newbie for this.
Well, I have to ask, do you guys ever schedule your content on TikTok?
Sometimes.
So as far as I can tell, the only way to actually schedule your content is if you upload it via your computer.
Yes.
I've never been able to find a way to do it in the app, and I do everything on my phone. So I just put it in my drafts and I post it when I feel like it's an appropriate time to post it. So yes, but not technically, I guess.
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, because I would just throw it online, and because you can go 11 days out. So you could just say, okay, cool. So I'll do, this will be my podcast. I would have it come out for the Wednesday because that's when the podcast is coming out. Just kind of stuff like that. It made life a little easier for someone who's like, I'm a real-time job. I can't just sit, and because I could be in a meeting at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, but I can just go ahead and do that now. And then side note, that now you can do that on Instagram for 90 plus days. You can schedule your content out. That is a fucking game changer.
Nice.
I have all my podcast posts scheduled out till June. I have all the Rose Chronicles scheduled out till June. I have all of the story spotlight out till June. And I don't even have to do anything. I just spent 4 hours, got 2.5 months worth of scheduling out. I'm good to go. I can continue on with my life, which I love. I love that as a scheduler, especially as a social media manager. That is a fucking incredible feature that
I
you
feel
manage
like
multiple accounts, right? It's nice that you can go in and schedule.
I feel like it's very different with TikTok because
Mhm.
there is not a consistent day of the week or time that you really should be posting your video. Like I could post a video every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. and one Saturday it's going to get 1 million views. One Saturday it's going to get 27 views. So I like to wait until I notice I'm getting a lot of notifications. So when I'm getting a lot of likes or I'm getting a lot of comments on other videos, that's the time I want to be posting. I don't want to schedule something and hope that that's going to be a good time of day.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Great idea.
YouTube, where I know if I post at noon on Fridays, that's when Brief History comes out sometimes. And that's when I post that. And that's when people would expect it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very different on TikTok because there's not a consistent time.
It's not, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I usually just go ahead. I just pray to the TikTok gods. I'm like TikTok,
Sacrifice
Lord,
a sim.
please don't humble me today, Lord. Please don't humble me today, TikTok, Lord. And then and I just go from there. I see what happens. Sometimes they'll give me a good day, and then I think it too just boils down to like what the audience is just feeling that hits your for you on their For You page. Like maybe the audience is really digging a Sims 4 TV news or an update about the base game update. Once the algorithm or whatever you want to call it notice that more people are actually sticking around for your content, then I think it goes to another tier of like, another tier where it's like they'll push it out to 2,000 more people and then see how that engagement works for you. And then before you know it, you're at like 100,000 and then it's like, wow, this is crazy. And then it makes you want to keep posting more videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like addicting almost.
Yeah.
It is.
You're
It
like,
is.
I've had a good video. Gotta make the next one.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. So.
I'm not gonna say gambling at a slot machine.
It feels like that sometimes
Yes.
though, but
You're like, all right.
Yeah.
It's like, I just won $20. I'll see if I can win that other 20, which actually leads me to my next question. So thank you, Nard, for
you're welcome.
setting me up. Okay, we all have had a one episode or one video blow up. What was the video and what did you do after?
Oh, I can go first.
Yeah.
I had a video, it was like last month or so, and it was just, I knew that the baby update was coming out. So I thought I should make 100 baby home. And I'm like, well, I'll try to do as much like landscaping right away. So when people pop on the video, since landscaping is one of those things that kind of freaks people out, I'm going to start right away with the landscaping. And it has like 1 point something million, and that was my first and so far only, but I'm getting close to my 2nd million video. But it was, I went from 2,000 followers from this to 10,000 in like a matter of like a week or two. It was just insane. I've never seen such like a jump like that, but yeah, it was just a speed build. And so that was my first speed build of this kind. And I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing these speed builds. So it felt really good.
that's awesome.
Congrats.
Thank you.
On your first millie.
I know.
So exciting.
And I'm ready to be humble. I mean, I've been humbled a couple times
Yeah.
since then, but I'm like, don't let it get to my head, because I know if I'm starting getting confident, that's when the views plummet.
Yeah.
But you deserve it, because I think when everybody hits their first viral moment, they should just embrace it and enjoy it, because I think a lot of it, especially now, when I even hit like 200, 300,000, it's like it doesn't faze me as much anymore.
Yeah.
So I kind of miss like embracing those milestones, because it is a rarity, and that's still to this day, of like pushing out something that you think is good and it gets like 1 million views, especially on a platform like TikTok. So when you do, just embrace it, enjoy it, because I think again the audience is so different every day. Like one day the right audience is on the platform, so when you push your content out, it's gonna perform well. So yeah, congrats and enjoy it.
Thank you. And I knew with the new updates and the new pack coming out, this is the time to post, because people are they're thinking about The Sims again. There hasn't been a big update for a while, so I think a lot of people stop playing and they're like, oh, I'm gonna play again, let me look at some content.
Yeah, it's true. and we have a lot more new simmers too, because the base game's free.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
a lot of them now are wanting to know like how to add mods and what's a good
Yep.
pack to get. Because
Mhm.
when there's these discounts is when I like to repost my top 10 game packs or top
Oh yeah.
50 EPs or whatever, how many ever we have now. So
Yes.
just being able to remember that there's a new audience now, and we kind of have to somewhat kind of cater to them too, because they're
Yeah.
new.
I've been trying to do more base game builds right now too,
Mhm.
since so many people don't have packs. I did not realize how many people are simply base game players.
Mhm.
Or, I mean, Instagram is so saturated with people that have like a wealth of knowledge on how to play, build. And so whenever I post something there, it's like, people are like, oh, this is nice, but I already know how to do this. They wouldn't
Mhm.
say that. But TikTok, I'm getting real players that are like, wow, I didn't know you could make quarter tiles on the floor. And something that I thought was, I don't want to say obvious, but I just am like, I'm not going to post that because everyone already knows.
Yeah,
But
you'd be
I
amazed.
feel like, yeah, it's like exciting to, I can finally share knowledge here instead of Instagram, where all of my friends and stuff, they already know how to do all of this stuff.
Go. What about you, Renee?
My first viral video was do you remember the it was the TikTok audio that was oh god, the unexpected. It was like the little song from one of those kids TV shows. It was International Super Spy. I did that and posted like the words on top of it that was like simmers when they only make blue Suburbans, and then I mentioned that I do true crime builds.
Oh, okay.
So that got like 1 million views in like a couple hours, and it was wild. And I, being the absolute fucking dumbass that I am, didn't really do anything with it. Like I was still at that point, that was still when I was like really curating my content. And I just continued posting on my content. And I was posting like things from my brief history builds. I always do like an intro that kind of gives like an overview of whatever it is that I'm talking about in that episode. And I just kept posting those, and they did shit, honestly. And it wasn't until I started doing things like roasting your builds or names as Sims. Names as Sims is one that I used to do a long time ago, where I would create Sims based on names and like talk about what I thought that name was, but like not in a nice way. Like Tiffany's like the meanest person you'll ever meet in your life. And then I would make a Tiffany in The Sims. And it wasn't until I started doing that really sarcastic, funny stuff that I started getting consistent views and consistent amounts of followers starting to come to my channel. So yeah.
Same with me. Like I did the grilled cheese aspiration was like my very first viral video on TikTok.
I remember that.
Which was crazy. Yeah, it wasn't like me telling you about it. It was me telling a story about a grilled cheese addict.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh my God, I want a grilled cheese now. Or why does that dude look like that? And then it was just like so many different random comments. And I think that's kind of how, I think honestly, I don't know if you guys can agree, but I think the TikTok audience kind of shaped how I started doing my content. Like now every time I say dag, the reason why I say dag at the end of every video is because I said dag on another viral video that I did where the sim was drowning in first person.
Yeah.
I think I said dag on that one or whatever. There was another video that went viral that when I said dag, and all the comments, everybody's like dag. So I started making that a thing because I think like the audience is kind of shaping me into like what kind of content that they kind of like from me.
Yeah.
I guess so.
It's almost like having inside jokes with your audience.
With
like
your
people
audience,
expect certain things to like come out of your mouth or be in your videos. Like my sim know that I use, my channel mascot. She's like the most disgusting sim you'll see in your entire life, but people love seeing her in videos.
Yeah. So that's a cool thing too.
Yeah.
I love it. Now I have to ask you, have you had burnout? Because you're chasing for the another $1 million sorry, not $1 million, million view.
Yo, we chasing for the $1 million too.
Yeah,
why would you bring that up?
I'm trying.
But you're chasing for the million view, not dollar. I mean, I guess technically both for some people. And you don't get it the next time because we talked about TikTok humbles you. Any light on like how it feels to get humbled? Are you crushed, or are you just like just a bad day?
Well, for me, I'm since I'm like still new to posting like regularly, I'm not crushed yet. I'm almost expecting it. I'm still in that point where if a video does well, I'm surprised. So, and it's actually, it's just, I've said it before, so much easier than Instagram that I am not burnt out. If anything, I'm like, oh my God, I have all this time now because I'm going to shift my focus to TikTok, less on Instagram, and still posting regularly. But I'm like, there's so much less pressure on TikTok. I mean, I might get over that. I don't know, but it's for me less stressful than Instagram.
True.
I love it. HipHipRenee, how about you?
I mean, I've definitely been burnt out, but not because of TikTok. Like I said, I work like a normal human day job and it's very stressful. My day job is very stressful. So sometimes there are days where I get home and I have my weekend and I'm like, I don't feel like filming content this weekend. I'm just exhausted from the week and I don't want to do it. So I don't.
Good for you.
Good for you.
The thing, and I don't get crushed I get annoyed when I post a video and I'm like, this is gonna do great, and then it gets like 12 views. But at the end of the day, for me, TikTok and creating Sims content is 100% my hobby and nothing more than that. It is fun, and the day it stops being fun is the day I stop making content.
I think as you said in the last week, so I think that's amazing advice, because when it starts turning into a job, unless you want it to treat it as a job, because that's different. If you want to treat it as a job, you have to treat it as a job. If it's a hobby, treat it as a hobby, but do not blur the lines of both, because if it's a hobby turning into a job, you're gonna fucking hate your life. And if it's a job turning into a hobby, you'll be like, why am I not making the millions? Right? So you have to pick a lane, and it doesn't matter which lane you go in, but just know if it's a hobby, make sure to treat it as a hobby versus a job. Nard, how about you?
I would probably say I've been probably burnt out a few times. Because when I first started on TikTok, I was pushing out maybe 3 videos a day. I was crazy with it, and I have a full-time job too. I mean, this is what I do on my Nardvillain channel is kind of what I do for other clients too. Like I provide content for them. I do photography. I do a lot of video work, which will sometimes require me to travel. So I'm always at my desk, either editing video, editing photos. So when I'm not doing that, I'm sprinkling in times where I can kind of create my own content. So there's one point where I might be doing a little too much of just the production of creating content and not really sitting back and enjoying it. Because my thing is, I love creating content. I love storytelling. So what I like to do, and the reason why I started creating content based around The Sims 4 is because at the end of the day, I like to be able to just sit back and just watch all the content that I've done. Because I'm like, honestly, a fan of my own work. So being able to go back, and then the perk of that is if I can have 5 or 6 other people that enjoy the work too, I feel like I'm winning. So, but then there's moments where I don't think it's the views that burn me out. I think it's just more of like, okay, wait a minute, I'm spending way too much time on working for clients and then working to stay relevant in the Sims 4 community, but I'm not really taking care of myself. Like, meaning like I'm not taking breaks from like working with clients and working with, pushing out content. Cause content is time consuming too. Like you can spend 4 or 5 hours working on just one video, but it doesn't stop there. It's like, once you're done with that video, now you got to go out and do the same thing the same day, probably just to stay, current and relevant. So yeah, burnout's pretty crazy. I mean, I've been in it for like 2.5 years. And so sometimes you will burn out if you're not careful. And sometimes that burnout can be because you got other things in your life that you have to deal with too. So that doesn't help as a content creator. And if you don't have a solid support group, then it's going to be even worse. Fortunately, I have a great support group. So all it just takes is for me to be vocal around my support group. And I'm a little bit better. But long story short, burnout's real, folks. Burnout is real. Take care of yourself, and honestly, just enjoy the journey. Like when you hit your first milli, like just embrace it, enjoy it, because it's a fun feeling at first when you first hit that 1 million. It's like, I wish I could relive the moments when I hit my first million.
Yeah,
because it
just
was literally
sitting there and watching it go up.
Just why,
900 somehow.
it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah. Well, you get over the burnout and then you're back to it 100% and it's fun again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, thank you everybody for sharing. I just wanted to ask about burnout because it's a question I get all the time is what do you do when you have burnout? And I would always say, what's burnout? I've never had it. And then I had it really bad in January to the point that I considered, what the fuck am I even doing? Like, I'm so tired. I'm not sleeping. I had a really shitty job. I had a really toxic job. That took a lot out of me. It literally changed the person who I was. I wouldn't even recognize myself in the mirror at the end. It was fight or flight every day for me. And I fought every day. It was absolutely terrible. I'm back into planning a wedding. That's extremely stressful. I didn't have a really high paying job. My vendors don't care. They want money and they're like, well, I have rent due. And they're like, we don't care. Like, you need to start paying us. And it was just kind of like I do make money from this podcast, which is great, but like I hadn't made a little bit in a little while because I hadn't had a sponsor. So I was just like, oh my God, I was banging my head against the fucking wall. And then I had Mom Cave, podcast friend. We did a podcast together about what it's like being burnt out. And at that time, I was burnt out. I was, because I love my listeners. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And I love you guys come up with ideas. But sometimes I get really stressed when you're like, well, why is my podcast being filmed 3 months from now? And then once it's filmed, why is it coming out 6 months from now? Why is it a 9-month waiting period? You guys like my content. I give you podcasts every week. It's a waiting period. I'm doing 5 podcasts this weekend. As Nard said, support. My fiance is currently in the other room, dead as a mouse, because he doesn't want to make one sound. And when I podcast weekends, he leaves. He feels the need to not be here because he doesn't want to make a noise because he knows he can't. That's an extremely supportive partner who's supported me in every aspect. And I couldn't do this without him. But at the same time, burnout is real. And I can tell you, my first season of this podcast, I can't say anything about TikTok. I don't think I've had a TikTok go past 99 views. Like, I'm going to be really honest with you. But like at the end of my first season, I was like number 5, number 6 in Australia for video game podcasts. That was fucking awesome. I have no idea how that happened. Still to this day, I have no idea how that happened. And then it stopped because other podcasts come out, whatever, and then the views and listens dropped, and I was like, whoa, what? And then they picked back up throughout the season because I had to market in other ways, but it was like all these free listens, and then I used to gauge my happiness on listens, and as I'm sure as we all have gauged our happiness on views, even at the beginning, because you'd be like, oh my God, like I gotta, maybe today's like such a good day. And sometimes I still catch myself if I have a day where it's in the thousands of listens, I'll be like, oh, today's gonna be a great day. And then the next day I'll have 1. Someone asked me, like, what's your range of listens? It's like 0 into the thousands. I can't tell you. I cannot tell you. Like yesterday, I had no one listened to this podcast, but this morning I've already had about 300, which is pretty good for around this time. Right. But you kind of like, why? So anyways, thank you for sharing. I just like to debunk burnout because everyone looks at us, they're like, well, you guys can't get burnout because you guys are living your dream, getting $1 million views, and you're like, I'm living, you guys are like must be so happy.
Oh, it's because it's an extension of ourselves that we put out, and it's hard to not take something like no views personally. Like
that's true.
I try not to take these things personally, but like, last year or 2, you remember, Stassi, I came back from your podcast. I took a 7-month break because I was doing like Twitch, Instagram, everything except for TikTok, and the burnout just hit me, and I was taking everything so personally that I got really depressed, and I just needed time off to find myself again, remember who I was, because I wasn't living my life. I was living my life to post. I would get up, what's my post? What's this? And I mean, this was during pandemic, a little bit after. So I'm inside all day, focused on my computer. I'd work until I go to sleep. And then I'm like, what is my life? What am I doing? And then my post wouldn't do well. It just, you have to remember to almost separate yourself, even though it is still an extension of you, your creativity, your like vision. And to see people not really react the way you think, it hurts. Like, you don't mean to have it hurt. Tell yourself it won't, but yeah, it's hard not to get a little upset about it.
Right. As someone in the storyteller community on Instagram, you get zero of anything. Instagram does not help you. If anything, they hinder you because you have a heavy post and your stuff is not seen.
Mhm.
And you just fucking bang your head. You're, as Nard saying, like 5-6 hours. That's the same for any storytellers, but 5-6 hours and you get no love, like absolutely no love. And you're like, well, why do I do this? And you're like, but I love doing this. I do it for me. And they're like, but are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it for your readers? You just, it's like literally you're insane. Like you're literally just having these full-on conversations with yourself. And why I created this, so we can, we can chat. But now, if anyone else has any other anything to add, I have another question, which comes down to the $1 million bag question, as that one came early. Clearly, I have money on the brain this morning. I mean, who doesn't on a Saturday morning?
You already know.
Oh, yes. I mean, Nard MVP. It's like 7:30 in the morning, but he came in at like 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. I was
So good.
Yes.
6:02. 6:02. I was a little
6:02.
late, but
It was very late.
Yeah.
but I made it. I was here.
Yeah, 6 a.m. this morning. I was like, oh, I still have like 2 hours to sleep. To be fair, I didn't go to bed till like 1 because we went out last night for St. Pat's, and then my fiance's like we started getting into documentaries. Like, we got to watch the Pornhub documentary on Netflix.
We've been wanting to watch it too. It looks really interesting.
It's so good. It's extreme. I did not realize it was like based in Montreal. Like we were like, because I thought we're pretty sure it's Canada. Like I'm pretty sure it's Toronto, and it says Montreal, and I'm like, yeah, it's
That's
Montreal.
Have you started it yet? So you said you've been watching it?
Yeah, we watched. Okay.
Did they talk about where that little tune thing came from, like the little intro song?
They talked about the intro song.
Not that I go to that website.
No, Nard's never been there.
Yeah,
I've never
I
been
don't
there,
even
but-
know what that is.
Yeah,
He only uses Wicked Whims. It's fine.
yeah, pretty much.
Wicked Whims is my Pornhub.
Yeah.
No, but they showed them playing it, but they didn't say where it came from.
Oh, okay.
Do you know where it came from?
No, that's what I'm asking.
Oh fuck!
Because you're watching, you know.
You're like,
I
yeah,
I thought you were
no,
baiting
no.
me to be like, well, I made it with the company I worked for.
Yeah.
X amount. Like,
No,
that's what you were
no.
baiting
it's all
me.
me.
No,
Yeah.
I was thinking you knew since you were watching the
No,
documentary.
they just talk about it being like how that like everybody knew the
Mhm.
jingle, and they
Yeah.
literally go down to like they show multiple different like sources of kids doing it and stuff. But it's definitely, I'm at the part where it's kind of dark now, where it's like anybody can put content on there, including content that should not be on there.
Mm.
So yeah, fun beginning, dark
It's
middle.
getting dark, yeah.
To be fair, I watched 30 minutes of it with my eyes open, and then I watched 30 minutes of it listening.
Oh wow, it's that graphic? They actually show image stuff?
No.
Oh,
I
oh.
was asleep. I had
Oh,
passed
okay.
it.
Oh, I thought you were like, it was to the
I-
point where it was too
Nard's
much.
like, I need to
No.
watch this.
No.
Yeah.
I was like 30 minutes of like, I've got this. And then
Oh.
by like 1 a.m. I had the blanket over.
Oh,
I was
you fell
like,
asleep.
okay.
Got it. I thought you were thinking, oh, okay. I
No,
thought you were
I
like,
was,
it was too much that you had to close your eyes during it.
No, I was listening with my eyes closed. Is
Oh,
code
got it.
4 in this house. I passed the fuck out.
Got it. Okay.
Anyways, so $1 million question. So I put this out as a question. What any question anyone want to ask? It was unanimous. Everyone's like, so when's the money rolling?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it varies.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Once you hit like 10,000 your top followers, you're able to start making pennies, you know?
You can make 3 cents a day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think right now, after like this month so far, I've made like $5, $6, $7. I also do reels and make some money with there, and I make more money on Instagram reels, but I get more views on TikTok.
Yeah.
So
I made a whole $2.13 yesterday.
don't
I
spend that all
see.
in one.
Oh my God.
I know.
That
I
could
know.
that could get you a coffee and a Timbit here.
My coffee from Dunks is $5.49.
You can pay for half your coffee.
What the fuck do you get in your coffee? Is this like
I get a lot of espresso shots. I
Okay.
have to be at work at 6 a.m.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I-
So
I feel like it just varies because I'm also getting, I don't know if you guys heard of TikTok posts, but apparently they'll select, I don't know if it's random, but they'll select a video and put ads on it and
What?
you would get money. So I think 1 month I made like $70 just from a TikTok post.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And in the month of January, I think I made that was a decent month actually. I made $121.65. My biggest day that month was let's see. Wow, $19.78, and that was on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Oh wow. In
Wow.
one day.
Yeah, in one day. And then in February, it hasn't calculated how much I made yet. But my biggest day in February was $13.37. And currently in March, my biggest day was on the 15th, I think, $13.37.
Yeah.
But I've also been kind of getting a little bit more views than usual, so
Mhm.
I guess that helped in these last few months, but I've never gotten anything over like more than $200 a month. And my total so far, not including TikTok posts, has been I've earned $1,223.76.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
about where I am too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
like
it
looking.
varies. It just depends on what the AdSense is and how your views are doing
Mhm.
Yeah.
that day or month or whatever.
So the moral of the story is don't quit your day job, kids.
No.
Yeah, especially if
No.
you're not already like, I mean, hitting a million. You gotta literally hit 1 million views per video. And there
Per
are people
video,
out there
yeah.
like celebrities and like legit
Yeah.
TikTok influencers who actually started at day one of TikTok. And I'm pretty sure they're probably making some good money because it wasn't as saturated. The pot was very big for only a small amount of people, but now that a lot of people are now in that pot of TikTok funds, I think it's just harder to put, to share it. So, but I mean, I'll take my little Starbucks money, my little Krispy Kreme, and put some of this money towards the wedding venue deposit. So it's all good.
Yeah. And I mean, there are definitely like you could get sponsors too.
Yeah.
And that's where you're going to see the most money, but you also have to be willing to put yourself out there and reach out to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies to get one person to be like, oh yeah, we would love to pay you to do that. And that's just not a thing that I care enough to do. I've had people reach out to me and I've taken sponsorships, but I just, if they fall into my lap, they fall into my lap. And if they don't, they don't.
Yeah. I could not agree. I got my first sponsorship back at Christmas time, which significantly helped because I had to have surgery and I was off work for multiple weeks, unpaid. So old work decided to not pay me. So I had to wait 8 weeks to get my EI sick pay. So I got a couple $100, but once it's done, it's like once that's done, it's done. It's a one-time payout, which is really nice, but it's not like I don't partner with them again until they want to send me something or they want me to talk about something. But like to get this, I had to show them my Instagram insights. I had to share my podcast insights with them. I had to share basically everything. And then they were like, yes or no. And then you kind of go from there. But it's not like, I don't know, it's Louis Vuitton's not calling up Stassi being like, yo, we want you to start plugging our product.
How is
like,
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, what's the pressure like knowing like, okay, I have a sponsor now, like are you worried about your performance now? Like that's my issue is I'm scared that if I get a sponsor, even though they're paying me, what if the TikTok just decided, yep, this is the day I'm gonna humble your video.
They do because you have to mark that
it's a sponsor.
Yeah, I know.
And it will purposely.
I scroll right by those.
Yeah.
If I see something sponsored, I'm like, nope, I'm not watching that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the same way. I can actually. Okay, so I still have my shit here because I don't clean up my desk. I was part of the 12 Days of Colgate for kids. I got kids shit because with mom, because like moms follow my account because that's the age graphic. So I got like a bunch of kid toys and stuff that I was plugging because I was so confused. I was like, I swear I am not a role model for children. but it was
Yeah.
but it was for moms to buy for
Oh.
their kids.
Yeah.
And I
That's
was like,
cool.
because I had like all the hashtags I had to use was like mom life, Christmas gift list for mom. Like, and it was like, what the fuck is
Like,
this?
this is not me at all.
No,
But it's your
I
audience though.
but it's the
Yeah.
audience because
Yeah,
it's
for your insights.
because
Yeah.
it's women from 25
Ages.
to 40 is
Yeah.
that's who listens to this podcast. That's who follows me on Instagram. And it was cool again, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay,
I
I'll
got
It's still
one
cool. Shoot.
I'll plug
sponsored
anything.
post like years ago, like 2 years ago on Instagram. And it was a game I've never played. And they didn't send me a free copy or anything. They just sent me like footage and I had to edit it together. And it felt so like disingenuous. I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it. Like I'm like, I don't ever want to do that again. And if I ever do a sponsored post in the future, I hope it's something that I'm passionate about, have
Yeah.
used before,
Yeah.
and I actually like it. And I'm like, I just feel like I'm putting this out there and I feel like I'm selling myself out in a weird way. Even though it wasn't, everyone's like, congratulations on your
Yeah.
sponsored post.
Yeah.
But it still didn't, it felt wrong. I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
No,
won't take a sponsorship if I can't be myself. So if I can't swear and be
Mhm.
ridiculous and make fun of whatever it is that I'm doing, I won't take it. And if I don't like the product, I will
Yeah.
not. I don't care how much money you're going to pay me. I'm not
Mhm.
doing it.
dude, I got you. I keep getting coffee. This one coffee company in New York keeps reaching out to me.
I want coffee. Send them to me.
Yeah.
Why? The next time they reach out, I'll
For you.
fucking send them your way because they're like, we really like your podcast. We really like what you stand
Oh.
for. Can you? I'm like, but I don't drink coffee. I actively talk about how much I don't drink coffee, so you clearly don't listen to my
Yeah.
my
Gotta
I
watch
don't
content.
out
drink
for them.
coffee, but I drink this.
Yeah, like unless
Yeah.
it's literally water, or whiskey. Like those are the two things I drink. So
You can put coffee in whiskey.
That's
yeah, but
right.
I really
Irish
don't.
coffee.
I if I had to go, I couldn't fake it. I'd be
You know what we could do is I could put on a blonde wig, and for the part where you have
we
to
go.
sip coffee, I will do it, and you can just slice my
Stunt
face
double.
over yours, and no one will know. They'll have no
That's
idea.
true.
no one
That's
will
true.
know.
Yeah.
Deep fake.
Yeah.
You just gotta be a little extra bubbly. Be like, hi, I'm Stassi. Look at me drinking coffee. Ah,
I love coffee so much.
I love coffee. Look at my giant butt. But I get it. Like I'm like, even if it's a good payout, I can't sit there as cookies and sell my soul out.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Adobe at this point, being like, Adobe,
Oh,
Oh.
Adobe would be dope.
yo, like please help me pay for this fucking. But I
Yeah.
pay for every month
Yeah.
to have everything. Please,
Mhm.
I'll do that, or anything Sailor Moon. I'm hoping to
Okay.
one day get like some Sailor Moon shit or some Batman, because I applied for one yesterday for the new Batman movie coming out, and I was
Mhm.
like, cool, send me some stuff and I'll absolutely talk about it because I'm a huge fucking nerd.
Hmm.
That's the
Mhm.
stuff I want to get. Don't get me your green matcha coffee. Don't get me, I don't know. I got bracelets made from seashells because
Wow.
like
Look at you! Wow.
Yeah.
So you saying brands just reach out to you because I'm new. Like I'm not gonna say new, but I don't get a lot of like brand. So are you guys just searching for it, or are people hitting you guys up? So people email me, but it'll be like the most random though. Like they're not
Yeah.
even looking
Yeah.
at my content, so it's like not genuine.
with RSS, I have enough listens that every day or every month that they push out to their sponsors that they'll be like, so I'm part of I think it's called pod sponsors or podcaster sponsors,
Mm.
and I've registered with them. I meet a lot of their requirements. They'll send me stuff. I have the ability to reject, but I think after 10 rejections, I'm no longer part of it.
Mhm.
That's how I got the Colgate Day of Christmas with Butterly. I just actually happened to work out that they're also my home. They're also where I live, where the head office is. It's
That's
about
cool.
10 minutes
Ah.
away.
Nice.
So when I signed my contract, I actually went in person. I
Oh,
was like,
cool.
I was like,
Nice.
cool. Yeah. So that was another main reason they picked me, because we're in the same city. So
Yeah, that's
postage is
cool.
not fucking hard, and it's a lot of Canadian products, right?
Hook me
So-
up with some Colgate, girl.
Right?
Yeah.
Yo, do you
Dude.
want my
That's
key? Do you
name
want
brand toothpaste?
Yeah, let me get that mint. I want some mint.
well, you know what? I'll give you this
I'll just
kid.
message.
I'll give you the kids one. And you know what? I think you're so smart. You can take the
I'm all
toothbrush,
about
the
it.
Barbie.
See?
What? You haven't opened that
They
yet?
hook-
I
they
hope
Oh my
hook
I'm
you
god,
using
why do
that.
you not use
No,
that
no.
every day?
No, I did. I had to open it for the photo.
Oh,
It's this toothbrush is like $40, man.
does
I
it?
was-
It's
Really?
Does it play? What
Wow.
song does it play?
Yeah.
it doesn't play a song, but it is
What do you mean it
electric.
doesn't play a song? Hold
Doesn't-
on. Hold
There's
on.
like some
They have
buttons. Figure
toothbrushes
it out.
that play music?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I
2
did not
minutes
know
so that
that.
kids know how long to brush.
Okay, let's
I
let's
need
see.
one of those.
Right?
Nope.
That's what's
They need
up.
to make adult versions.
Nope.
I
of
know. I didn't even know
they
they
do.
did that now.
think
This was
they
just
do.
electric. It's
That's
just it
crazy.
literally just vibrates. Which
Well,
yeah, I
Colgate,
know.
you're missing out on an opportunity playing some Barbie
know.
music on there.
Well, because I
No.
had the Justin Bieber one when I used to buy that shit for because they would literally play you a song and you have to
That's
listen.
crazy.
Yeah.
I did not know that stuff existed. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They need to do that for faucets so I know how long to wash my hands for too. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
play some music
Yeah.
and it stops.
Instead of like me singing "Happy Birthday," fuck
Yeah.
you. Everyone knew the "Happy Birthday" song.
I know. I was just thinking.
Mhm.
Happy
Or the
birthday.
panini, as I'm no longer calling it the
We
pandemic.
had-
Yeah.
At work, we had a list in the bathroom, like stapled to the mirror, that had all the songs that you could sing to wash your hands for 2 minutes. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, so I just did a different song from the list every single
Oh,
time.
that's cool. Good way to be creative with
Yeah.
it. That's what's up.
Sorry, to answer your question, because I've reached so much followers and listens for RSS, I have the opportunity for sponsors to come out to me.
Oh, dope.
I have never reached out to anybody, to be honest with you. I don't know who would want to. This is a very niche
True.
podcast, unless it's Sims related, which we all know that Daddy EA will never sponsor me because I bash them all the time.
Do they sponsor many people?
They just did like a whole wave of sponsorships, but
Okay.
yeah, they don't. I feel like they don't say, because they have the whole creators program,
They do.
Yeah.
and they don't need to sponsor those people. They just
Mhm.
give them stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I got rejected not once, twice.
Ooh.
Oh
So
man.
Mine
Yeah.
I'm
still
still
says
waiting for
pending.
my rejection.
Mine's been pending for like a
Yo,
year
what's
and a
this
half.
brand called? It's called what? What's the brand
EA
called?
Creator.
EA Creator.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I'm
yeah.
still
Yeah.
pending.
I'm
I've been
still
pending for
pending.
2 years.
Yep, still
Yeah.
pending too.
Yeah.
I'm an American, so I'm like, I'm probably like the lowest. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. If I'm losing out to people in other countries to make sure
Yeah.
they have their say, I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Yeah. As
Uh,
a Canadian white girl, I bottom
know.
of the
Yeah.
barrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how you have to make money, is other ways
Yeah.
Mhm.
of doing stuff. And it takes a lot of time. This is not just like you were like, I'm gonna start a podcast and I'm gonna get sponsored. This takes years.
Yeah, 108 episodes in. That's awesome.
108
Yeah.
episodes in. So
Wait.
anyways, does anyone else have anything to add before we move on to the next question?
No,
Perfect.
none of us get paid.
No.
So
We're not making a lot of money.
Okay, but again, to debunk it, because everyone's like, so like, stop thinking you got like over the podcast, it's shut up. I'm like, yeah, but my landlord still wants my rent every month.
Yeah.
Doesn't give a
But
he don't give a fuck.
but the
Mhm.
cool thing is though, is we at least get a little bit of change
Yeah,
just to post on a platform that maybe a large percentage of people that are not able to make money. So
Yep.
at least you can say that, which is kind of cool. Like my friends are like, oh my God, YouTube pays you and TikTok pays you. Just hearing them get a little excited about it is kind of cool, I guess. You know, you can kind of be like, oh yeah, well, at least I get a little bit of change.
Mhm.
Because I mean, we're all doing this as hobbies and maybe trying to pursue it as a dream or as a job too.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, it's like it's still kind of cool that we are getting a little bit
Yeah.
of change for.
I'd be doing this for free.
Yeah. So yeah, and you get free product if you're reaching out to brands and
Mhm.
maybe the brands are paying you or maybe they're just doing like give you free product for a post. That's also kind of cool too. You're utilizing your following for that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like it.
I need a new mouse really bad. So start reaching out to people.
if someone wants to give me just a whole new computer,
yeah, I need
yeah.
a desk.
I will make as
Fine.
many videos as
Yeah.
you would like.
IKEA, hit me up. I need a desk.
Yes.
I'm on this. Look at the desk I'm on.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Such a sturdy table.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I agree. Sponsors, if you're listening, come hit up everybody on
Yes.
here. Links are gonna be
Yes.
below to go check out these guys. Let's get some sponsors around the table. And then we can like,
Yes.
I don't know, as I said, we could do a Zoom dinner, but that wouldn't make sense because we're in
Mm-hmm.
a different country. And that would be, I guess that would be like, because I was
A
thinking like,
Zoom food.
Zoom. We could do a Zoom
Like
brunch or
brunch,
something.
yeah, Zoom
Yeah.
brunch.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyways, on to the next question, which is something that me and HipHipRenee talked a lot about last week. Is trolls. I feel like being on TikTok, you have to deal with trolls. What has your experience been, and have you told them to fuck off?
They're my favorite. I love them.
I know.
love them so much. Oh my God, give me more. There is nothing in this world that I love more than mean, shitty comments from mean, shitty people. They're great. 10 out of 10.
I don't mind them as long as they don't like attack my personal life, you know, as long as they don't say anything out of the ordinary where I have to legit block them, because it's maybe more on like a hate comment versus like, and I don't really get that much hate. I did get like a couple like, I didn't know George Floyd was still alive kind of comments, and usually I just, you know, remove those or whatever. And then I'll just get, you know, comments like, you look like blah blah blah. I don't take those as like offensive. I probably do literally look like somebody from TV that they watching, and I get that all the time. I'm like, oh, okay, and then I go Google them, and I'm like, I look nothing like them, but yeah, like like Renee, like I embrace them. Like I comment back, and sometimes if it's my fault, like they're bashing me because of something I said, then I'll own up to it. I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right, and then I'll say something funny about it or whatever. So
Yeah, I feel like the best thing to reply to is like kind of sarcastic joke, like it not being like offended, because that's just adding that's what they kind of want, but it's kind of funny. Like if I see something that, so far I haven't got anything like that's hate, but more of just like, you did this wrong, or this is, and it's kind of funny. Like every time I see it, I remember those comments more, and I'm like trying to think, what's a fun, witty reply to this? Like, what can I, so it's not, I don't feel bad when I get them, just like, oh, what can I say?
I've made merch out of my shitty comments.
See, that's dope. See, that's super cool.
How to do it.
They making money off your hate comments. See?
Yeah.
See?
Like, thanks for the material, guys.
Yeah, love it. Perfect.
I did have. Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I did have to block somebody on TikTok only because I felt like they were trolling a little. I felt like their trolling was getting a little personal, so I had to kind of block them, and then they added another account. And I had to block them again. I'm thinking it was them because I think it was just more like, I don't know. I just had to just be a little bit careful because they were threatening to like what do you call it? Denox or something like that.
Doxing. Yeah.
Doxing. Yeah.
So who has the time and the energy to do that? To set like the thing about hate comments, because obviously there's the trolls and, you know, the people who, you're so fat, you're so ugly. Like, thank you. I'm aware of what I look like. I know I have a mirror. So like those ones are fun and I love those, and like keep them coming because I can respond to them. But then there's the people who like genuinely just have this hate.
I feel bad
they feel like they need to like, like, what do you do all day that you think it's okay to go online and like have this weird parasocial relation? Like, I don't know you. You see me in my videos every day, and I know you feel like you know me, but you don't at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we're not friends. I'm sorry. But like they have this like weird parasocial relationship with you. And the second you don't respond to them right away or like their comment, like it's almost like you've personally slighted them. It's very strange. And I don't understand how people
I always
have
assume
the energy for that.
Young or like just don't have the social skills yet.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense, but I just kind of find them dumb. Like, I mean, but I mean, some of them are like harsh. Like I haven't gotten any harsh comments, but if that were the case, I would just block them. Like I don't even want other people to see stuff like that. That's just not my channel. Like,
Yeah.
Now, I think it hurts the most because we're all human is when you are at your burnout stage and you're already feeling a little low. And like we were talking earlier, because I mean, I failed to mention that I'm human too. And some days I will overlook the idea of I'm doing this for fun. It still hurts. You know, I want to mention that again on burnout. There have been days where I was down about my content because it wasn't performing well. And when it's not performing well, you might get a comment here and there saying that, oh yeah, you're maybe they might think your video kind of sucks or something. Then it kind of hits you a little bit more, you know, those comments when they will hurt more when you're already feeling down about your content. And that's happened maybe once because I was kind of already feeling burnt out and feeling a little bit low. in my content, and that's when it was like, oh yeah, your content sucks, you're boring, blah blah blah. And that's when it was like, oh damn, I
Yeah,
think
'cause then you
she's right.
believe it, but even though it's not true, but it's like,
Yeah,
oh, this is kind of
yeah,
how I'm feeling. Thanks for validating.
yeah, right. So that hurts. That'll hit you sometimes.
Especially when you're first starting out making content, that's
Mhm.
really where you
Mhm.
figure out if content creation is for you or content creation
Yep,
is not for you,
yep,
because you are going to get shitty comments
yeah.
and
You
you're
gotta
gonna
have
get
thick
them
skin.
right away, like
You got, yep.
immediately. Some of the first comments you're gonna get are gonna
Mhm.
be really, really cruel, not
Yeah.
even just me, cruel.
Hmm.
And that's the point where you need to look at this and go, can I handle this every single
Yep.
day? Because they
Yeah.
don't stop.
And
They continue.
yep. And the larger you get, the more opportunities it will become, because now
Yes.
your audience, now your content's getting pushed out to a larger audience outside of your audience. So
Mhm.
now they're like, why is this even showing up on my For You page?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna react to it. So, which is a good thing, because now that means that you're reaching to an even larger audience. But are you ready for it? You know,
Yeah.
everybody's like, oh my God, I want 100,000 followers. I want 200,000 followers. But do you though?
Do
Like, are you
you?
really
Yeah.
ready for
Do you?
this?
Mhm.
Yeah. But once you get there and you're comfortable with it, yeah, embrace it. Just embrace the journey. And those hate comments, make those t-shirts.
Yeah.
Ew.
That's where you're getting the $1 million, is you make
Yeah.
t-shirts
tea.
out of hate comments,
That's
and then you make $1
brilliant.
million.
See, I'm learning so much from y'all.
I-
Use your phone.
Yeah,
Use-
Yeah.
comment.
Make shitty
yeah.
content, make shitty t-shirts with shitty comments on them. It's just
No, your
shitty
content's
the whole way
amazing.
down.
Your content's amazing. I'm just
I-
saying, just take advantage of, creating content with your phone.
Mhm.
Your content's amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yours is too. All of us.
Aw,
We're all amazing. That's why we're here.
right? Well, I got a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna wrap up because this podcast is going for almost 2 hours. I mean, why not? Okay, so oh my God, I was like, where am I? Okay, we kind of talked about this one already, but what makes TikTok different from everything else besides you get more views there? Is there anything else that you've really noticed that TikTok is different from the rest of every other type of social media?
I mean, it's not a platform you're catching up with your friends on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike-
It's made specifically for people creating content.
Mhm.
And I think it's more acceptable to follow trends too.
Yeah.
But you got to still be careful, because you still have to credit. I feel like there's a lack of credibility. Like, if you do something that's inspired, at least try to say, oh, this was inspired by whatever. But if it's like a well-known trend, obviously, I mean, you don't know where that trend came from. So, but you just got to be mindful, like, is this a trend, or is this something that one specific person created and I thought it was a trend? So, I mean, just you obviously have to do your homework there. But I think trends are definitely acceptable more on TikTok than the other platforms. I mean, every platform has its trends, but I feel like you see more trends on TikTok, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I have to ask this. This is just kind of more of, so I have a family member and they are a TikTok influencer. And that just makes my skin crawl saying those words out loud, because they will take any sponsorship deal, and they make really shitty content, in my personal opinion, because they're out there trying to get reaction. They're reaction based. How does it feel to also be in the same bat with kind of like everybody? I also kind of like the same as YouTube, because like there's like fun YouTube and then there's shitty YouTube. So like, what's it feel that, like, if you're like, someone called you a TikTok influencer, would that be like a sense of pride, or would you kind of be like, oh, am I kind of like, are you then grouped in with the maybe not so good TikTok influencers?
I don't want so the thing about the TikTok algorithm is, because a lot of people say this, they're like, okay, well, the only thing that I see on my TikTok is girls half naked dancing in the street. Well, that says a lot about you, because that's what your algorithm is showing you. And if your algorithm is showing you things like that, I don't really want those people as my audience anyway.
Yeah.
They're not for me. I mean, I've had people, my coworkers all know that I do TikTok, and they think it's fucking hilarious that I'm a TikTok influencer. And like, I definitely say it and I milk it. I'm like, I am a TikTok influencer, but like I'm very sarcastic about it. It wouldn't offend me because I am. I am. That's a thing that I do. I can't deny that.
Yeah. I have to be, I think for me, I have to be more comfortable around people in person when they say, oh yeah, you create TikTok videos. 'Cause I don't talk about it a lot in person, in public. So when like my family members or when my friends say to other people when I'm there, like, oh yeah, he produces like videos for TikTok and YouTube. He's like our TikTok celebrity. I just feel weird about it. I guess I just don't like talking about myself, I guess. But it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. So when people say that, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't get offended at all, but it's just when I'm out in public and I have to talk a little bit about that, I do it. It's still new, even though I've been doing it for so long. Well, not so long, but for 2 years. It's just different because not a lot of people kind of know that I do it, kind of. I mean, I guess they know, but they don't really know exactly. Like my mom really doesn't understand. Like, oh wow, he has like 150,000 followers on TikTok. I don't think that's kind of. I don't think she grasped that concept yet. Yeah.
Well, for example, this is super random. I went to a comedy show, like a small comedy show with my in-laws. And of course we were sitting in the front row and they pointed to me, and I do graphic design also and some other stuff, but like they asked, what do you do? And I said, I do social media, content creation, that stuff. And then later on they made a joke that I was an OnlyFans person. If you do OnlyFans, it's totally fine. But like, I'm vague because I don't know how to explain it. Like similar to Nard, I'm like, I don't like to talk about that. Like I've been meeting a lot of new people, moving, and they ask what I do. I'm kind of vague. I'm like, I do social media, because I also do like social media content create, but like this is what I spend a lot of time on too. And I don't know how to talk about it because I mean, I think they have a idea in their mind of, oh, you do social media, that probably means you're on the beach with your bikini on, and that's fine if you want to do that. That's just not me. And then I explained, no, it's for a video game. They're like, oh, video games? I'm like, one video game.
Yeah, one video game.
Not to explain to people, and I'm just like, I kind of just shut it off. My husband likes to say, oh, she's a video game influencer. I'm like, don't call me that. Like, maybe call me like a content creator. I just don't know what I should call it. Like I'm kind of in the middle. Like I don't have a ton of followers yet, hopefully. But I also am not just starting out. So I'm somewhere in this like weird, and I don't want to call myself an influencer and then people being like, oh, well, you only have this many followers. And it's a weird place to be.
I could not agree more. Cause like, it's because people like, I'm actually starting to get more hungover as this podcast is going on.
I'm getting
you
more
should start
awake.
Drinking coffee.
Yeah, drink some. See, is that
oh my god, there you go. Maybe I do that sponsorship after all. But anyway, I treat Sims as like church and state. When I'm simsing, I'm simsing, and when I as a lot of people, Stassi is not my real name. My name is Jen. Jen is her own thing. Stassi's her own thing. I treat them as Hannah Montana and Miley Cyrus. They are fucking two different people. So people will be like, oh, like I know, like Jason will say, like, oh, like Jenny's like gotten really good with her podcast and stuff. Like, oh, she has a podcast. Like anybody can have a podcast. You're fucking right. Yeah. Anybody can have a podcast.
That's the joy of having a podcast.
Literally anybody. You have a mic. Fuck you do. You have your phone.
Yes.
Have a phone. Rant. Awesome. But there's a lot more that goes with it. It's continuously scheduling and being able to provide content that people like and getting listeners and all that good stuff. But I would rather say that I'm an author because I create a graphic novel online. I would go author and podcaster before I would go to content creating. I did a podcast 2 years ago and someone called me a content creator and I was like, I'm not a content creator. The fuck are you talking about? I make a podcast. And they're like, well, that's content creating.
That's content.
That's content, right? It didn't even clue in. And I was like, I'm not a content creator. I don't, because in my mind at the time, I thought they were talking about CC, like literally custom content.
Content creator.
Content creator. Yeah. No, I was like, custom content. And I was like, I don't do that. I interview people and I think I'm a stand-up comedian when I do these things. So it was just kind of more of like, I'm Jen and I do social media and I leave it there. But I've got it. People are like, oh, so like, have you ever considered doing an OnlyFans? And my answer is Yes, because
I
I'm a
have
hoe.
too, but with just
Yes.
Byron had, oh, that's my husband's name. He had an idea where I do OnlyFans, but I do only Sims content on there.
Yes.
So you can literally do any content.
Yeah,
But
you can.
I'm
Yeah.
so scared of being like, I have an OnlyFans, and then people getting an idea of what I do. And again, like I said before, if you want to do that, that's fine.
Yes.
But I also like, I'm 30 and I just don't want to be like, you know, like kids from my school see it. Like, I don't know.
See, I got you.
My
On the other hand,
cousins.
for me, I'm like, yo, give me that bag. If I have to sell feet photos, because apparently those are because like
Those
I
are
would sell
fake.
feet photos so fucking fast.
Oh,
yeah, nobody
That I'm
wa-
not above probably. Like if someone wants to offer me, and Twitch, I did Twitch for a short period of time. The amount of feet messages I got, I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
what?
Yeah.
Someone
Feet
told me
first.
on camera, they're like, I have $100,000 in my PayPal. Show me feet on
Send it to
camera.
the
I'm like, what are you
PayPal and I will show you my feet all day.
Yes. Yeah, I will give a good foot, but I'll give a good hand. I'm 5 foot tall. I'm not skinny. Who the fuck besides my fiance? Who else finds this? Like, who would want to pay for this? Nobody. But oh, okay.
I have $100,000 in my
Yes.
PayPal.
From all that TikTok money we're making.
I know, right? Oh my goodness.
God. Oh, I needed that laugh. Oh my God. Okay. Well, as we've digressed from sponsorships to Pornhub to selling a fee on a feet photo,
OnlyFans.
That's how you're gonna make the money. Is
Yes.
to take your goddamn clothes
true.
off.
Don't TikTok videos, kids. Does a good toe photo. That's how you're gonna buy the house.
Yep.
It's not a
Yeah.
it's not anything on TikTok. Well, anyways, final question, because I gotta wrap this up because I think this interview has gone in some weird places, which I love. What advice would you give to anybody wanting to start off? I know we've talked about this on both your podcasts, but this is just kind of repeating it. Literally any advice, and anybody can go ahead.
Just be prepared mentally for the toll that TikTok can take on you, whether it be, like we said earlier, the burnout, whether it be the trolls, whether it be people just genuinely being mean, because I put trolls and mean people into like 2 separate categories. Things are going to happen that are going to make you not want to create the content anymore. It could be low views. It could be a number of things. And you need to make sure that you are, at the end of the day, enjoying what you're doing, or why are you doing it?
Yeah.
I could not agree more. Nard, how about you?
Renee took everything I was gonna say. But I just want to add to what she's saying by just saying that yeah, just start. A lot of people, I think the hardest thing really is just, the concept might be easy for you, but just starting. A lot of people want to create content and trying to figure out how to start, but once you start, I think you're already just in the path or the direction of being a content creator. So just starting, embracing the journey. Like when you hit your milestones, just like sit back and relax, and definitely take care of your mental state in the process of it. And yeah, just enjoy the journey, because a lot of times we're focusing on the content creating, the growth, but we're not actually sitting in the moment of like, wow, like let me sit back for a second and at least enjoy the fact that a video just hit 1 million.
Mhm.
Let me do a watch party with my close ones, because it's a big deal. It's like that's kind of cool. Like just take advantage of those milestones, because then that way when you're hitting those 1,000 views or 50 views, you could just be like, oh, okay, I remember when I was doing pretty good, and I had those moments where I celebrated, stuff like that, if that makes sense. But yeah, just start, embrace the journey, take care of your mental state while you're doing it.
I love that. And Nard, before we end off, I really love that you partnered with on TikTok, Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah.
Twitter. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both
Yeah, that was
partnered.
cool.
That was cool. I liked your content. I was so nervous because the mom cave was like, yeah, so like the Sunday before, she's like, you're up. And I'm like, what? I thought I'd have weeks. I
Yeah.
literally made everything that Sunday, and I like literally pushed it out. I was just wanting to be as honest as possible, because
Yeah.
mental health is extremely important, and I don't think
True.
it's talked about enough. So I really do appreciate that you also partnered with
Yeah.
on Twitter as well. I thought that was very cool. The fact that you were right after me, I was like, oh, because
Yeah.
it was literally the
just
Sunday
podcast.
after our podcast.
Mhm.
She like mom came message me. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was cool. That was a good experience because yeah, like you said, I think like as creators, we don't have the platform with our audience to share like what really goes behind the scenes. Because they just think it's all peaches and cream, you know. Oh yeah, they get to wake up and create content and
Yeah.
partner with brands and stuff like that, but they don't really see that we're human too, and we definitely take things to heart, or we work a lot and we can't sit back and enjoy it. So but yeah, that's why I like doing stuff like that too, being able to, you know, make sure everybody's taking care of their mental state.
I could not agree more. Last but not least, Cookie.
I guess since you guys said so many great things, I'll just add something random. When I was starting on TikTok, I was kind of looking at a ton of other people, like what's successful, and I kept trying it, didn't really work. And then I thought of an idea, like, let me do a voiceover this part, and I've never seen it. And I'm like, this is probably not going to do well. I doubted myself a lot. So don't really doubt yourself if you have an idea, just sort of do it. If it doesn't do well, the worst it can get is not as many views as you hope for. So just try things, see what happens, and don't be afraid to fail a little.
Yep, yep.
It's not really going to affect the overall like end goal.
Yeah.
I think that is phenomenal advice. Please go take everybody's advice. If I have a like I literally have like 100 people on TikTok. I have no leg to stand on.
TikTok's about to blow up.
Yeah, right.
Because I haven't posted anything since like October.
Well, you need to start posting.
Just keep
things.
posting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put as
I watch your
storyteller podcast. Everything else, I'll just throw TikTok in there, and then we'll go back to burnout, and then I'll just openly cry on TikTok, being blonde girl cries.
That will do really well.
Viral.
Yeah.
People love it when they cry on
Like, I
TikTok.
just
We
Yeah.
love it.
They love it.
I know I stop. I'm like, why is she crying?
Yeah,
she
what
crying?
happened?
What
And then
happened?
you have to look back several videos to
Yeah.
figure out what happened, and then it's a whole thing.
There we
I actually
go.
had a video that went viral because I was crying on camera. Yeah.
See?
Yeah, see, it works.
works.
It
Fuck,
definitely
I'm-
works.
That's
There you go.
another tip. Cry into
Cry.
it.
Just
Cry a lot.
Just fucking cry.
On camera, off camera.
I'm the crying simmer.
Yeah, I'm just crying. Look at my film.
I only build during mental breakdown.
Yeah.
See, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say that
relatable.
actually is like,
That's a good
Because when I'm
content.
upset, I go to building.
Channel.
I'm like, I'm really upset. I'm just gonna like look. That would be kind of funny to like. Okay, if next time I have a mental breakdown, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be waiting with bated breath for your next mental breakdown.
yeah, just have your phone ready to go. Be like, guys, I can't. And here's my build. And like, see, that's the problem. Like, okay, so like, because I'm a YouTuber, they'll be like, they'll do their fake ass apology. They're like, make sure for every tear I had, you like it and like
That's
the video, and you.
Yeah.
I'm just so sad. Like, I'm just like, you're full of shit.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't see any tears.
Yeah. That's some crocodile tears right there, my friend. Well, anyways, it has been an absolute pleasure doing this roundtable today. Why don't we just do a quick round of everybody so you let everybody know where we can find you on TikTok. And Nard, you can go first.
All right, you can find me on TikTok at Nardvillain. That's me.
Perfect. HipHipRenee, how about you?
You can find me on TikTok at HipHipRenee. It is not HipHipRenee or any of the other names that you call me. It's HipHipRenee, like hip hip hooray.
I love that. Cookie, how about you?
You can find me on TikTok at Coki.Creative, no dot, unlike Instagram, same as my gallery ID. So yeah, COKI Creative.
Perfect. If you want to follow me and see some sad ass videos of not crying, but just like nothing since like, and this isn't coming out till like August, so almost a year. Well, maybe by then I'll have some content.
She might
Yeah,
have
post-
crying
post
videos
something.
by
I
then.
might have crying
Like-
videos.
This is where it started.
This
Yep.
is where it
Mhm.
started, guys. This is my origin villain story of just being like, guys, I became a villain and I started crying on TikTok, or I just started to like
Stoss
be
villain.
Stoss villain, or I
Ooh.
go on OnlyFans and selfie
Yeah,
photos.
or
you know,
can start a new trend. Foot talks.
but
Ooh.
Yeah, see, hashtag foot talks.
Yeah.
Lots of money in
There
that.
you go.
lots,
There
yeah.
you
Lots,
go.
I'll just, you know what? I'll just edit my foot here instead of me talking, and I'll just have my mouth, and I'll just have my
Yeah,
podcast
see?
will be-
Yes.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah,
why does this have so many views? It's so weird.
Mhm.
why are men offering me the $100,000 in their PayPal account to like have my photos of my feet? Like, I don't have I don't have good looking. I got flat hobbit feet, okay, but
That
I
might
am
be someone-
There is a market for
telling
that,
you.
okay?
That's not easy to find.
yeah, I'm sure with bad ankle support and hairy toes. I
Ooh.
mean, oh, the fucking
You gotta
knee
stop.
strength.
This is getting too high.
See? See, you already. I'm sure you got. Yeah. See, you're gonna already have your listeners like curious about
They're
it.
ready for the
Uh-huh.
foot
Right?
They're
stuff.
ready.
The sponsor, any sponsor listening to this be like, fuck that.
We should get
She's
sock
Toe
sponsors.
rings.
Socks and toe
Oh,
ring.
see,
Yes.
Toe rings.
Anklets,
Toe ring
Sandals.
brand. Oh yeah.
I actually need some new flip flops. So
Yeah.
Oh,
See.
yeah.
There we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
see?
All Stassi flip flops, toe rings, socks, everything. There you go. Well, anyways, kiddos, it has been an absolute pleasure. It's probably one of my favorite podcasts I've done this season. But anyways, guys, absolute pleasure. Please go check out everybody. Any sponsors listening, please go check out these guys as well. They're all amazing. Everyone deserves some time in the sun, and I want to thank you all for coming today. And I really do hope that you, from all the laughs and giggles, you do, all the listeners do take a listen in to learning some tips and tricks when it comes to TikTok, because that is the future of social media. You will continue to see more platforms coming out in the future of just very quick content. So thank you guys for coming here today and sharing your wisdom with everybody.
Thanks for having us.
us.
You are welcome. Well, have a great rest of your day.
Dag dag.
Too.
Bye.